Okay, today is May 25th, 2018. Right now at 9:30 a.m. we have a temperature of 62 degrees here in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is 64%. The dew point is 50 degrees and the barometer's been pumped up to 30.05 inches. We've had cloudy skies, overcast weather, a lot of drizzle the last several days, which has totaled up to 3/32 of an inch of precipitation. Should have had a lot more than that, quite a bit more than that, given the weather's conditions offshore and overhead. Um, Now, when I say the pressure's been pumped up to 30.05, we've had basically low pressure conditions the last 4 or 5 days, down on the low 29.909294, and then yesterday we started seeing the pressure rise up to above 30 inches. And that's because we have a closed mid and upper level low pressure system right off of California. Actually, it's right over California, the central and northern part of California. And we'll take a look at that here in a second. But right now we're looking at Alberto, which formed overnight. This was a red X indicating a 70% chance of hurricane formation in 48 hours. So now we see that this is developed and organized into a subtropical storm, which is named Alberto, with 40-mile-per-hour winds, pressure of 1,005 millibar, and that is moving north-northeast at 6 miles per hour. And this system is forecasted to move north either into Louisiana, Mississippi, or Alabama, one of these three states. So we show the next graphic here if it loads up. Okay, didn't show. Okay, so that's fine. I will just keep an eye on this system. Let's take a look at the next map here, which is this is the mid-level water vapor map for the eastern U.S. and basically all the country. We can't really see Alberto down here, but it is moving north. We can see part of that storm as this this sequence progresses. Now, the thing about Alberto and all these storms down here is that they could have easily been superheated and neutralized, as we were showing in a video here about, I think it was a couple of videos back on the channel, on this channel. There was a storm developing down here, a very large area of thunderstorms developing, and they were superheated and neutralized. And the same thing could have been done to Alberto down there in the Gulf of Mexico. So these terrorists that are controlling our weather are allowing a hurricane to form right down here in the Gulf of Mexico, which will move up into one of these states. All right, so we can see up here there's some thunderstorm activity over Oklahoma and Kansas, and over here, which I think is Iowa, or I'm not sure about that one there. And then, of course, we have this mid and upper level low moving right over central California. So there's a lot of rain falling up in the northern part of the state. Let's look at the Doppler map right now. We can see, first we can see a lot of rain where Alberto is in this area. This is down here by Florida and Cuba. Let's scroll over to California. And we can see a lot of rain up in the northern part of the state. But nothing down here in central or southern California. There's no rain. Let's go ahead and look at the big map, the water vapor map for the Northeast Pacific. We see this giant mid. This is a closed mid and upper level low. And we have jet stream flow right down into Southern California today. Let's look at the jet stream map right now. We can see that. We've got the low pressure right here and all that high-speed moisture flowing around, but yet there's no moisture on the jet stream. And that is because a satellite transmitter is evaporating all this moisture flow right into Southern California. And that's why we're not having rain down in this area. And that's also why the barometer is up at 30.05 inches currently, despite this mid and upper level low. Let's look at the 500 millibar map. We can see that closed low, and we also see the squiggly lines. These isobars should be smooth flowing lines with no squigglies, but this indicates varying degrees of high and low pressure all mixed together, like what I showed in the video here a few days ago of that cumulonimbus development, which was superheated. We could see the tremendous amount of turbulence looking up into the sky. That was a great video that somebody took. I don't remember the name of the person or the channel, but it's in the playlist, and that shows exactly what's going on. And on a big scale, they do the same thing. They target these large weather systems and superheat them, and that's what causes the blast patterns that we see on the water vapor map and the the IR maps. Okay, so now the 300 millibar map, we see the same closed low, squiggly lines, and we've got high pressure on this side. If we go back to the big map here, we can see that. We've got high pressure over here. You can see some clockwise rotation over in this area, this flow pattern peeling off of this jet stream right here. So with this kind of a weather system, we should be having rain all over the place in California, Nevada, Arizona, and Oregon as well. We can see that Oregon is getting some rain. Also notice this feature right here. This is a man-made blockade built in with a satellite transmitter, and that is blocking this jet stream flow, which would normally, under normal conditions, flow right into that vortex. So this vortex, this low pressure center, is being blockaded by this right here, this feature. If we look at the infrared map, we can see that very clearly. There's a blockade, a clearing right here. And so this low has been isolated. Now the people on TV reporting the weather don't show these maps, and this is the reason why, because there's a lot of manipulation going on. You understand anything about pressure, you know that higher pressure flows to lower pressure. That's not happening here. We're seeing a blockade. This is totally unnatural. It defies all the laws of physics. And there are trolls and shills being paid to sit on these internet sites and beat down people that point out these anomalies. And that allows the climate change narrative, which is largely being propped up by the left in this country, the left, that is the Democratic Party. And so we have to question why that is, and why the FBI and the EPA and all these agencies that are the NOAA should be screaming from the rooftops about all this. They're not. The National Weather Service should be standing on the roof of their building screaming and shouting, "Hey, what's going on here? You people have hijacked our profession. We're not allowed to report this. What's going on?" Nobody's saying a word. Everybody's afraid. They got their tail between their legs. But now we've got a guy, a president, that's not afraid of these jerks, and he's going toe-to-toe with them. And guess what? We're going to win. The people that orchestrated this near coup d'etat that we have been hearing about, this so-called BS Russiagate, is all backfired in the faces of the people that orchestrated it. And so we're going to see a lot of people probably wearing orange jumpsuits here in the next couple of years. And maybe out of all of that, we may see some light shed onto what we're seeing here. So once again, we have jet stream flow right into Southern California, but yet there's no rain. This is a huge weather system. I will repeat it again. We should be having rain all around the entire Southwest, including Arizona, Nevada, maybe Utah as well. Up here in Oregon, they're getting rain. The center of this low is right off of San Francisco. We can see that the center of that right there. spinning right over San Francisco. But yet there's no rain down here, just 400 miles away, 450 miles away. And we see the effect that high pressure installation, that satellite transmitter, is evaporating all this moisture on the jet stream. That's why there's no rain down here. And that's why the barometer's pumped up. Let's look at the surface chart. We've looked at the 300, or the 500 and the 300. This is the surface chart right now for the Eastern Pacific and the Western U.S. Look at this. Look at these isobars. Here we have a perfect right angle right here. Let's put the envelope on that isobar right here. Look at this. Now, is there any meteorologists out there that dare to explain why that is a right angle and what is causing that? Look at all the rest of these isobars. They are just a mess. They should look just like what we're seeing out here. Smooth flowing lines, no square edges. But that's what's causing the high pressure manipulation in this area. We have that low pressure here, this mid and upper level low, which is, you'd never know there was a mid and upper level low looking at this map. There's a low right here, 1008 millibar, but there's so much manipulation going on, these squiggly lines from these transmitters at work, that there's no clue that there would be a mid and upper level low right here. So there it is. That's the 500 millibar, that's 18,000 feet, and here is the 300 millibar, which is 30,000 feet. Okay, so that is the report. Once again, we'll keep an eye on Alberto right down here, which is forecasted to move up and hit either Louisiana, Mississippi, or Alabama. And this system should be able to be squashed out real easily. We've seen that. We've seen these terrorists do all sorts of things with weather, particularly out here on the Eastern Pacific Ocean with these giant thunderstorms that form out here. Just 2 videos ago, I believe it is. If you look at the video from last week, a couple of videos back, we show that right here with the blast pattern, and the whole works, completely neutralizes it. Okay, so that's the report. We'll try to get another one up real soon. That's it.